Hey, welcome to the stream. How's it going, everybody? So, I wanted to talk about something that I recently got in my email inbox. Pharmacist influencers. I was recently asked to participate in a research survey about pharmacist influencers. And I remember this being so strange, very surreal reading this because in it, these pharmacists wanted to basically ask questions, about I think what we do, our perception of what we do, how we influence, I guess. And I thought it was really weird. And then I had a conversation with Timothy Ulbrich, one of the co-founders of Your Financial Pharmacist, and he put it so aptly because he also received the same thing. He said, "I don't consider myself an influencer. I consider myself a business owner, but an influencer is totally different." And I wanted to talk about influence. I wanted to talk about influence marketing, which is really what this is about. And this, I guess, how this is influencing our pharmacy world and kind of talk openly about like what I'm seeing over and over again happen in our space. And I think you have seen it as well. Oh, hey, comments. Wow. Hey, cool. Hey, Yogesh, is that how you say your name? I wanted to say Yogi, but I let me know if I'm pronouncing it right. And hey, Marjan, thanks for saying hello. Yogesh, you've recently done my research. I'm not sure what about, but hey, maybe it's about this. Maybe you're the person that reached out to me. I don't know. So I think for me to talk about this in the right way, we have to first understand like a baseline of what influence is. So in my mind, influencers have always existed. It is a part of human psychology. And if you think about influencers, we've had them throughout our entire history. Generals, warlords, queens, kings, heroes. Any famous story we know about is about someone who was an influencer, all the way from some of the worst people in the world. We're thinking Stalin, we're thinking Hitler, to some of the best people in our world, like Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King Jr., and even to today, our presidents, current and past. They are influencing people. They are telling them their worldviews to the world, and it is a part of how we perceive our world is through influence. And when we think about influencers in pharmacy, I think the context is about influencer marketing. And if you haven't run into an influencer now, you may have been sitting under a rock. But I think if you're here, you're like, okay, I think I'm listening to Alex because maybe he has something to say about pharmacy jobs. And that's probably the elephant in the room about this discussion. You could technically consider me an influencer. I think, like 12,000 followers on LinkedIn. I don't know really what that's worth. I think some people put more value on it than others. I don't think I put much value on it. But influencer marketing is this idea that because you are an influencer, you all of a sudden can influence people to make a decision, to typically to buy something. A lot of this got started particularly around affiliate marketing, which became really, really popular ever since the birth of the internet. You talk about a product, you review it, you give it your endorsement, and you get a little affiliate code. And if you talk about it on your popular website, you get a kickback because you talked about it. And now today we have people who are influencers all the way from celebrities to, I guess, people like me who are in a sub niche. But it's all of this stuff, from listening to Brad Pitt, sell you foot cream, to our presidents who are telling us to go in a certain direction with our country. It's all about cognitive biases. We use these every day to discern information. So, for example, my mother loves cheesy movies. She loves what I would call a little bit fluff movies. Like, she's a huge Marvel fan, and so am I. I think Marvel, it keeps the entertainment going on the whole time, but not a whole lot of thinking going on. Whereas I, enjoy movies that make you think and make you think about what are the consequences and things like that. So I don't necessarily relate to what my mother likes, but maybe you have the same thing. So it depends on who's talking about certain subjects. So, for example, a very big influencer right now in healthcare is Dr. Fauci, probably one of the biggest voices that is currently in involvement in the United States. He's an influencer. Now, I want to talk about what are the pros and cons of this. I think, hey, Andrew, hey, good seeing you. I view myself as an industry influencer, but I don't consider it a sales and marketing thing. I wonder why. By the way, good to hear from you, buddy. I think what the cons of influencer marketing is that it reinforces tribalism. If you haven't heard, Seth Godin came up with this idea in marketing that you essentially want to create a tribe, a group of people who believe the same things, who want the same things, and will buy the same things. And it makes people really on fire about a certain idea. We think about any of the tribes that currently exist: neo-Nazis, feminists, anti-vaxxers, Dungeons and Dragons players. All of these people are really passionate about the things that they believe, and that means they live a certain way. They're in that camp. So when you become an influencer of a tribe, you have sway over them. You have, for better or worse, your intentions can influence their lives. I don't know if that's really I don't think that's a good thing all the time. Unfortunately, it's how humans work. We have our cognitive biases. We listen to who we want to listen to. And so because of that, who we look up to ends up influencing our day-to-day decisions. And this in turn can lead to what's called the halo effect, where you trust someone who isn't an expert in an area. I think this happens in a lot of misinformation, conspiracy theories and things like that. And, for Fauci, I'm not going to listen to him about his financial advice because he's not an expert. He may have some wisdom about it, but he's no expert. And I have to be careful of this. There have been times where I've crossed the line about what I'm talking about because I'm not an expert or I don't have information in the job market about that. And I've had to learn to rely on others who are experts to give me insider information so that I can disseminate that and make it available the right way. But going back to this topic of like influencers in pharmacy, I think a big con about this, and I'm seeing it in many places, is that it's not a job. I think there's a lot of influencers in pharmacy, people who are trying to gain influence in order to sell stuff, whether it's being an affiliate or they're like selling products like, oh, buy this, hamster oil and it's going to cure your diseases. But I think a lot of people are trying, and I don't see them actually running a successful business. I see them trying multiple things without a cohesive effort towards forming a actual structure with a traditional business model, like with defined roles and fulfillment. I think it's a lot of people trying to be coaches in particular. I mean, I was one of those coaches trying to gain influence a long time ago. And what I often find is that they spend a lot of their time marketing. They spend a lot of their time getting the word out about what they do. And on the inside, not much is going on as far as climate fulfillment. Brian, oh, this is an insightful comment. I think today's influencers are yesterday's mentors. During my career, I've had several great mentors. I guess you call them influencers. When I say influencers, I don't think I mean yesterday's mentors, because mentoring is usually a one-on-one. Let me give you my advice based on my life. But today, an influencer is someone who's trying to go for scale with social recommendations and social proof. I'm I'm an expert on turtle oil and it's given me these benefits. It's prevented Alzheimer's disease and it's made my skin super clean. So you should buy it. Um, that's an influencer. It's not so much a mentor. Mentor's more personal, in my opinion. But I think you have a solid point. But I do think that there are good things about influence marketers. I think if you have good intentions, it leads to good outcomes. And it's never been so easy today to help other people with information, with tactics, with guidance, with ideas and things to create a great outcome. I mean, back in 2012, actually, that's how I met Andy here, who's in the stream. I don't know if he's still here. Hey, Andy. Good, bad, indifferent. It's the way we're wired. Absolutely. So I met Andy a long time ago through an influencer. I think tribalism, in a way, can help support each other. This morning, every Tuesday, I meet with my mastermind group. It's a group of 3 other people, and we talk about our businesses and we talk about what we're doing, what we're struggling with, and getting great feedback about how to move forward. And for me, that's really helpful. I've had so many new ideas come into my life because of influencers. And if that's the route that you want to go as a business, hey, it's never been easier to do that, to gain influence, to start a business in today's world. And that can be good and that can be wrong or evil. So I want to be transparent here. I'm doing it now. In a way, I'm trying to influence people to, hey, think about a job change, think about getting help with your career, right? That's what we do as career coaches at the Happy Farm D. And in order for me to become an influencer, I have to put out information. I have to show that we know what we're talking about. I have to demonstrate, hey, we have expertise on these different fields, in order for people to even learn or be like, hey, you've got a message here and I want to listen to you. And I'm using that to promote my company, my solutions for pharmacists. But this is what we've been doing for a millennia. It just now has a name, influencer. It's just marketing. That's all it is. And marketing can be devious, it can be funny, it can be good, but it's something that I want to talk about because I'm seeing it happen everywhere now. Everyone is a coach now, or wanting to be a coach. Everyone wants to be a coach and then teach other people how to be coaches. I had a pharmacist ask me a few months ago, like, hey, have you created a program yet about how to do career coaching for pharmacists? I was like, no, that's my business. I'm not going to teach you how to do that. That's how we make money, is by coaching. So, I think this is the era that we live in. I don't think it's going any time soon, because we as humans, social proof is a must. It's how we make decisions. Andy here shares some thoughts that I think I share as well. My picture of a good influencer: Gary Vaynerchuk, Simon Sinek, Nick Loper. Not selling something or schlepping someone's product. Their product is ideas. I particularly don't like people who, teach. I've struggled with this, Andy, because I have a lot of people asking me, can you teach me and show me how to create a business? And we've coached people on businesses and we've had success. But to have a business that teaches other people about how to start a business is yuck. I get yucky feelings about that. Nick Loper is a good friend of mine. I think yours too, Andy. He's a great guy. Gary V. He's very smart, very good at what he does. Definitely an influencer, but I definitely don't agree with a lot of his core values. So those are my thoughts about influencer marketing. I think it's not going away anytime soon. I think we're going to see more of it, especially in pharmacy. We're going to be seeing more and more people who are sub-niching into different fields of pharmacy, like pharmacogenomics, functional medicine, health coaching, because frankly, there's not a whole lot of job opportunities today. And people are going to be trying to innovate and figure out what they can do to make a living as a pharmacist in these ways. The problem, I think, that you have to really evaluate, even when listening to me, is cognitive bias. Is this really what I want? Do I really want to become an MSL? Do I really want to become a pharmacist in pharma? Because if you don't question that, if you don't think through that, either by talking with people or having a coach like what we do, then you jump into things that you may not necessarily love that are panning out. For example, with Andy, who's been in the chat this whole time. Thanks, Andy. I have been uh I've been fooled by many influencers to think I know what I need to do. I need to create a podcast. I need to create a course. I need to do all these things, when many of those ideas were not what made me who I am. At my heart, at my soul, I'm a coach. I love coaching people. I love doing it. I love speaking and teaching, and I love those things. So to think about creating a podcast, which is just a marketing tool, is not a way to create a business. So be aware of your cognitive biases. Look to see what other people say about them, and just be aware of what your options are. And it doesn't hurt to reach out and chat. I'm a real person. Send me a message. Send something to me. I'd love to chat with you. And if you are thinking about making a move in the pharmacy world, see what I'm doing? I'd love to, well, we'd love to talk with you. It's not just me anymore. We have an entire coach team of 10 people who they're all awesome pharmacists, and they've helped many people transition into jobs they love. Thanks for watching this video. I wanted to just talk about this in a public way because, we need transparency in this world. We need to talk about it. So thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you. Love you.